It's another great and wonderful Saturday when we bring you your program, Security Watch Africa. Welcome to the program today. At this time of the year, a lot of carefulness and awareness is needed for us to be able to ensure that criminals who want to capitalize on our innocence do not deprive us of our hard-earned resources. There are many people who feel that they want to gain where they did not sow, but you are enjoined to ensure that you become security conscious. Be conscious of what you do and where you go. Do not display so much wealth and attract kidnappers or armed robbers to you. You must be security conscious, particularly at this time. Welcome to your program. My name still remains Patrick Abambu. Today we are looking at a whole lot of things that has to do with insecurity in Nigeria, and we are asking, insecurity in Nigeria, what is the way out? Is it impossible? Is it not possible for us to have security in this country? Though there's a saying that you can never totally be free from insecurity because there's no society in the world that is free from insecurity. There will be one or two insecurity, but when it becomes disturbing, then that is where the problem rises. I already have two guests here, knowledgeable guests for that matter, here in the studio with me, and one will be joining us via Zoom to look at the insecurity in Nigeria and what way out. Time permitting, we'll be able to conclude the discussions today. But during the week, a lot of things happened. Last week, particularly, we did a report on the issue of flooding Nigeria with illicit arms. Arms are in the hands of the wrong persons currently as we speak, arising again from the NSAS protests where police stations were vandalized and arms were taken away, uniforms were taken away. We did a report asking the people on the street what they think. Should Nigerians be allowed to bear arms? Listen, watch and listen to what some Nigerians have to say.
The year 2020 is an exceptional year, which brought along with it memories the world and Nigerians yet unborn will always remember. From the struggles of the coronavirus pandemic to the hashtag #EndSARS protest, which led to so many criminal activities vented on the Nigerian security systems. People went all out to express their democratic freedom for a better Nigeria. Hoodlums also used the avenue to raid, destroy, and loot firearms and uniforms of police officers. Now, with the aftermath of the hashtag #EndSARS protest, firearms are in wrong hands. Insecurity is on the rise. Concerned about this worrisome trend of firearms flooding the country, Security Watch Africa's crew took to the streets to find out if it is disturbing enough to allow citizens own personal firearms and if licenses should be granted by government.
It's necessary because why? The rate of crime these days there's nothing we can do other than to license everyone to have his own.
No, it's not possible for every citizen to have firearms, because there is no such law empowering citizens to own their personal arms. I think what is in place currently is for some individuals that are allowed to import and sell arms. And there are qualifications before anybody can be allowed to either possess or purchase such arms. So until there is an enabling law empowering citizens like in UK, not even in UK, in America, to own arms, Nigeria is not yet ripe for such a thing.
My own is capital no. And the reason is not far from our attitude, our character, our behavior to manage crisis. Because I know we Africans generally, we are very difficult. We cannot manage crisis. Any little aggression will overdo it. So such a situation whereby everybody carry arms, don't be surprised. In the next 24 hours, you will see the population of Nigeria will reduce to half. So it is not ideal. So it's better for us to just be managing our crisis, the little crisis we have.
The country already is making some of us crazy. And you see that even on the streets, sometimes you just step on someone, we're all angry. We're all angry. And I think a lot of things should be put in place before anything like that will happen in Nigeria. Because if I have a firearm and like it's happening with the police, if I have a firearm and I don't have what to eat, crime comes to my mind. And I don't think it's anything that will bring peace in this country, because if I have firearm, I don't want to be intimidated.
A nation's security is not just government's responsibility. It is interrelated with citizens' ability to look out for fraudulent activities within neighborhoods and report such activities to security officials. Peggy Abe, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Yes, I like that man there. He said Nigeria population will reduce by half. I think he has a point there. But okay, because we do not have time, let's go quickly. We have another report. Some say it's a very gladdening news. A Nigerian who jumped bail, some call him fugitive. The popular Mena now was arrested in Niger and was repatriated. Security Watch Africa was there at the airport when he arrived at the country, Nigeria. Sit back as we bring you this report by Shekina Chinkeri.
The Nigerian arm of Interpol, known as Interpol Nigeria, in collaboration with their counterparts in Niger Republic, have arrested the former chairman of Pension Reform Task Team, PRTT, Abdulrasheed Abdullahi Mena, who jumped bail after the court granted him bail for a case of money laundering involving him, his associates, and companies. In a well-coordinated operation, Mena was arrested and finally repatriated back to Nigeria. Security Watch Africa was at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and witnessed his arrival from Niamey, the capital of Niger Republic, in company of the head Interpol Nigeria, CP Garba Umar. CP Umar spoke on Mena's arrest and his repatriation.
The Interpol is just back from Niamey, Niger Republic, to extradite a fugitive that is wanted by the EFCC. And Mr. Abdulrasheed Abdullahi Mena is brought back to Nigeria. And we are acting under the instruction of the Inspector General of Police, whom the other law enforcement agencies applied to him for the extradition of the fugitive. And we are back, and we have brought him back to Nigeria to face justice.
Shekina Chinkeri, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes, for time, we'll have to go straight quickly to our topic for today. But next week, we'll bring you our exclusive interview with the head Interpol Nigeria, talking about CP Garba Umar, on what Interpol is doing in the fight against cyber crimes in the country and globally. We'll bring you that interview next week. But the topic we're taking today is insecurity in Nigeria. What way out? How do we go out of it? But first, we already have via Skype from Kano, Abubakar Usman Abubakar, who is a solutionist, to give us his view on the perspective. Is there really insecurity in Nigeria, and what is the way out?
Hello, this is Abubakar Usman Abubakar from Kano, Nigeria. Indeed, there is security challenges in Nigeria, and everybody is really aware of that. Because when you look at the homicide around the world, I think Nigeria is ranking number 11, meaning that in every 100,000 people, 13 to 14 people are likely to be killed. So when you look at the 192 countries around the world and Nigeria is ranking at 11, definitely you will know that there are security challenges, serious security challenges in Nigeria.
Okay. So So what way out will you suggest? What do you think we can get out of this alarming situation?
You know, when it comes to legalizing weapons, you cannot give weapons, for instance, to everybody. Definitely, a person, a good citizen, a good Samaritan, have to go through the required stages, the required requirements for him to be able to acquire a weapon. And it's very important. Though I listen currently now, some of the viewers are saying it's not a good idea. In everything, there is advantages and there is disadvantages. But the way forward, I see I see no solution than Nigeria to enable to give the right people a permit to get weapons to protect themselves.
Okay. Now, before we'll allow you to do other things, let me find out. You are in Kano, and there's this cry. Some people say, clamoring hashtag insecurity in northern Nigeria. There is secure northern Nigeria. What is your take? Why particularly northern Nigeria? What is the challenge over there?
The challenge is when you look at northern Nigeria, the devastating thing is not the killings, but why are they killing farmers? Do you get what I'm saying? Because when the country runs into hunger, there will be serious, much more ramifications. So we are seeing it at what kind of agenda it is that they are targeting farmers. They don't want people to farm. Why is that? The government need to run a serious investigation. Why are they targeting farmers right now?
You just raised an issue, which is very, very important. Because of time, we may not be able to continue, but maybe we'll get you on the program maybe by next week or another day, so we can talk more. It's a pleasure having you on the program, Usman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, back to my guest in the studio. I have with me the man who I call the editorial knowledge field, and he claimed to be, he became the deputy president, Nigerian Guild of Editors, and he's also a member of the World Editors Forum. Currently, he's also the editor-in-chief of Skylight Limited, that does a lot of publications and journals all over the world. So it's a pleasure talking about Suleiman Ubah-Gaya. It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and I also have the editor-in-chief of Nigeria Security Digest. He was the former editor of the Defense Headquarters Journal. I'm talking about Chidi Omeje. It's a pleasure to have you back in the studio again.
Thank you for having me.
Quickly, let me come to you, Mr. Gaya. You're also from northern Nigeria. Incidentally, just a few days ago, you came back from Kano, where Abubakar Usman is. Is it really as bad in terms of security as it's been talked about in the northern Nigeria?
Okay, yeah, this situation is really bad. You hear of killings almost every day in spite of the great efforts, the great strides that our security forces are making. But it's narrowed to some parts, especially of the northwest, especially Zamfara and Katsina State.
Okay, so not the whole of northern Nigeria?
Yeah, not the whole of northern Nigeria. For example, I chose to drive from Kano to Abuja just about 2-3 days ago. You know, just as a journalist, for me to see for myself the state of security or
insecurity.
Yeah,
because that is the road a lot of people say that it's impassable, that people don't pass there. But you passed it, I know, apart from the bad state of the road. Were you not having some fears based on the reports you get?
Yeah, naturally you entertain some fear, but then I was confident of the fact that the security services have employed some measures to curtail the kidnappers from killing people or attacking people unnecessarily on that road. You know, the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Police have collaborated, you know, even the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Force. All the security agencies, including the DSS, have collaborated to ensure that road is safe. So I will say, even though I'm not a security official, that relatively that road is safe. I didn't see any incident.
Okay,
but of course the road is bad in terms of too many potholes. Yeah.
Yeah, because the state of the road is terrible.
Exactly.
And that can also give a way for criminals to attack innocent road users.
In fact, that is the main thing. You remember that the Chief of Army Staff about a week ago or so complained about the fact that, okay, shortly before the attack in Jere local government of Borno State, he complained about the state of the state of roads in Borno State, which he said was making it easier for the terrorists to be killing people and making it more difficult for our troops to come to their rescue. And a few days later, the governor of Borno State, Professor Zulum, repeated the same thing, saying that the Federal Ministry of Works has not executed any road project, if I remember, in the last 2 or 3 decades, you know. So these are some of the things. Of course, when you cannot drive fast, maybe when you see danger, it's like, you know, you are going to...
You're just presenting yourself to them.
Exactly, exactly. There are places where you have to seriously slow down or more or less even stop your car before, because once you get into some of these ditches, you'll automatically have an accident.
Yeah, it's quite troubling. Yeah, Chidi, let me... Sadly, he mentioned slightly about the issue about the killing in Zabamari that is all over, has joined all over the worldwide attention now. And our contributor talking about Abubakar Usman talked about killing of farmers. These were said to be farmers who are working in Ras Farm. Is it not disturbing? Because he raised an issue. If farmers have been targeted, it might lead to hunger because there won't be food. What would be your take on this area?
Well, thank you again for having me. Of course, you know that the terrorists, they're not interested in your worries. In fact, they are happy if you are worried. So if they're targeting farmers, it's because they know that by the time you add hunger to the physical insecurity we are facing, it becomes a double jeopardy. So I don't know, for the terrorists in the Northeast, do they really care about if you're a farmer? If they see any human being, they cut it down. They cut him down. So, well, it could be a tactics on their part to target our farmers, to compound our woes. But then, that's just an aspect of the story. Because I believe and I know that the government are not going to sit back and allow that to happen. And of course, the military have they've been up and doing over there in spite of the setbacks we've noticed. Because you see, what worries me most time is that we tend to, we tend to forget the fact that we are dealing with a very vicious terrorist organization that are completely inhuman, that are decided that this country will go down.
In fact, the UN ranked them as the world's deadliest terror organization.
So, you see, we should be able to understand that we are dealing with a very terrible situation here. And then, if you understand that fact very clearly, it behooves on Nigerians to, find a way to speak with one voice, find a way to organize ourselves, to ensure that we give that level of support to our military to enable them do what we want them to do. Otherwise, these guys, just like you rightly pointed out, now if they are targeting of Hamas, it means that they are trying to double our wars.
So stop Nigerians.
Stop Nigerians.
Before I come back to let me ask from you.
Yeah.
Some people have said that attack, the figure 43, even though some people say it's 100, it's sad that UNDP says it's over 110 persons. The Boko Haram themselves came out to say it's about 70 something, and whatever the figure, even one person being killed is enough worry and trouble for us. Some have said that is a show that the military is not winning this war, the war that they told that they have won.
That's not true.
It seems that they're not winning the war.
I'm going to cut you in the hair because I've read such terrible analysis somewhere too. I mean, if you know the nature of this asymmetrical warfare, you know that these guys, they strike at the softest of spots to announce their invincibility, or rather the force invincibility. All right, and take note, just check. Most of the time when you see them attack, this kind of soft targets, it's when the military have been pounding them for weeks and weeks on ending, and then they had no respite, they had no sanctuary, and the only thing they do is to attack soft spot in order to, look at the way the entire world is now looking at it. For the past weeks, months, our troops have been pounding them from the ground, from the air, relentlessly, and then deny them sanctuary, and probably tie them into around Lake Chad areas and all that. And they find a way to get a soft target and do such terrible hit on soft target, and then they rile us all up. So we know, we understand that this is exactly the tactics of these particular people, and they do that to shock us all the more and to give us the impression that no, maybe the military is not working. But let me ask you a question. If you think that the military is not working, if you for once believe that the military is not working, then I want to just imagine what will happen if the military don't work. I'm telling you that 24 hours is enough for them to overrun the entire state of Borno State and of course the Northeast. But because the military are there, because they've been able to, in spite of all the probably internal issues, probably within, I do not know, but I know that sometimes they may not get the kind of information they need to actually do the work at the right time. And these are the setbacks. So don't forget that this is the human issue. So whenever we have negative stories like this, we should not be able to, we should also remember that there are also thousands of positives along the line that we may not.
And it seems we are not talking much of those positives.
About that. So
incidentally, both of you are media executives. Right. Some people have said that the media seems to be giving energy, oxygen to these terrorists, because when they see screaming headlines, they are happy to do more. Let me come to you. You are an editor extraordinaire. What is happening? Is it that the media? Oh yes, some people say bad news is what is good news. What is news? Good news doesn't attract anything. But is it not, in terms of national security, it's not possible for us to not say sweep this bad news away, but it's not. What is it that the media is not doing right?
Okay. Well, I think. Not all the media anyway, because there are two segments of the media, the traditional media and the new media.
But it seems that this traditional media, the mainstream media, is taking headlines from...
That's what I also wanted to say. Unfortunately, a lot of our editors or reporters take a cue or copy reports from the new media or the social media and splash it on the pages, even front pages of their newspapers. I once told you here of a visit I undertook to Turkey, in 2012, alongside 10 other editors of the leading newspapers of Nigeria. And the president of that country's journalists association challenged us Nigerian editors that we are inadvertently helping terrorists by the way we prominently publish their activities. In fact, if you read the way, by monetarily, for example, if you are going to quantify in terms of cost the volume of service we are giving these terrorists inadvertently, it will run into several billions of naira or even dollars. You understand? Whereas if the military succeeds in killing maybe 100, 1,000 terrorists, it hardly even gets a front page mention. The terrorists will kill just 1 or 2 persons, and some of our editors will supply it on the front pages of their newspapers. You are inadvertently helping them because the main oxygen, as you rightly put it, of terrorism or terrorists is publicity.
Absolutely.
Once you shut them out, I am telling you, you are going to defeat them. So, as the Chief of Army Staff once said, I remember when the management of Sun newspaper paid him a courtesy call, he said, you guys can play a key role in defeating terrorism in Nigeria. And I think they asked him how. He said, well, by giving them a shot out, simply shut them out. If they hear that, okay, our radio stations, our television stations, and our newspapers are not prominently publishing their activities, I'm telling you, it will discourage them. In Turkey, for example, even though the president of the country is seriously fighting the media has been cooperating with the government in terms of national security by always giving the terrorists, the PKK terrorist organization, a shot out. For example, in a 70-page newspaper, if PKK makes any attack, it kills soldiers. It only gets mentioned maybe on page 40-something as a brief. It will never get prominent publication.
You mentioned PKK. I was going to ask you this. they were quoting the chief of army staff saying that terrorism may be with us for another 20 years, and somebody is saying that means he's already saying that the military is incapable. Is it possible to defeat terrorism just like ordinary war?
No, I think people decided to maybe quote the chief of army staff out of context. You understand? He gave some conditions. And what I just said is part of the conditions he gave, that the locals must drive intelligence. There is nowhere in the world where war against terror was won without the people cooperating. But unfortunately, our leaders of thought, who the people listen to, always talk negatively about the military, about the need for service chiefs to be replaced, about so many things. For me, if you are a senator or a House of Reps member, you are already part of the government. Government has 3 arms. A legislator is even an indispensable part of those 3 arms. You know? So you need to be very careful. We are living in a globalized world. Whatever you say gets noticed internationally. You understand? And the international players, especially those manufacturing weapons, will get to hear those things, those negative narratives, you know, being aired every day in Nigeria. And they will naturally refuse to sell you weapons. And it's part of the reasons why Nigeria is suffering, even though the positive stories far outweigh the negative ones. So he gave some conditions that, okay, if those conditions don't happen, then this work will last for as long as 20 years or even more.
Okay, now we're getting
so it's up to us as citizens to fulfill those conditions.
You know, the problem we have here is time, actually, and now we're beginning to get into the main discussion, and we're asked to leave the studio. But in one word, do you think that this insecurity in Nigeria can be taken care of? Chidi?
Of course it can be taken care of, and just like the chief of army staff have outlined, when we have war, it's not just the military that prosecute that war. The entire citizenry have a role to play. Now, as a citizen, if you cannot go on the field today, at least you'll be able to see something and say something. Okay. You'll be able to at least provide public support for the military.
Okay.
To ensure
next week, because of I'll plead with you, because you have just the citizens' role in tackling this insecurity is what we'll be looking at next week, because we're getting signed to leave the studio. But gentlemen, I must say that it's exciting having you in the studio again. Thank you very much. Yes, viewer, it's sad we'll have to leave, but it's beginning to get more interesting. So join us next week when we'll bring you another round of discussion that will interest you the more. Until next week when we'll come your way again, I say bye for now and remain blessed.